Hey guys, it's Lene and Damon here again to show you another recipe that we like to make called sheet pan chicken and veggies. So we're still married, we're cooking together again. Haven't gotten divorced yet over this. Hopefully we can get through another round of cooking because as you know, Damon's usually the cook, not me. I'm the science person and the gut health person. I don't do the cooking usually, but if I can do this, you can do this. So for the sheet pan chicken and veggies, it takes about, it can serve 4 people, all right? It takes about 10 minutes to prep and 20 minutes to cook. We preheated the oven to how much?
425.
Preheated the oven to 425. We've got a cookie sheet with our, what the heck is this stuff?
Parchment paper.
Parchment paper put on it so that the food doesn't stick to it. We've got all our ingredients out. Damon went ahead and took the chicken out. It's already been thawed. He rinsed it and patted it dry. We cleaned the broccoli florets that we're gonna be using. We washed and peeled the sweet potatoes, but we'll do the rest of it in front of you guys. We just wanted to do a little bit of the prep work that's out of the video screen so it doesn't waste your time. So first thing we need is, how many cups of sweet potatoes do we need, hon? Is it 4 cups?
I think 4.
So what I'm gonna do is just dice, kind of create cubes really, of the sweet potatoes. Now because sweet potatoes take longer to cook, which we're gonna create more surface area, so this is where the science comes in. It shouldn't take as long as they normally would be cooking them whole, right? But the oven's already at 425, and what I'm gonna do is cube these up and put them in the pan, and they're gonna cook for 15 minutes while we prep the rest of the food, okay? So again, what we've talked about is if you guys are coming in from work and busy with all things life and the grind and the kids and the sports, you can have all your veggies and everything prepped ahead of time. You could even, they could even do the chicken, which we're gonna show you how to season. You can even have the chicken seasoned and ready to go to just throw in the oven, couldn't they? It probably would taste even better because it'd have more seasoning on it, right?
Well, the seasoning's only gonna be salt and pepper and a little bit of oil, so you could
What kind of oil?
you can use whatever oil. We're using
No, you can't use whatever oil.
olive oil. But you got one with it's infused a little bit, but you can use an infused oil and have it sitting in that for a while.
Yeah, we have, you guys can use infused olive oils. We have this really great little olive oil mom and pop shop where they have all different kinds of seasoned olive oils, infused olive oils that we can get. So we get spoiled where we live. I'm sure those places are around by you guys too where you can find them. Or you can just use plain olive oil. But the oil does make a difference because we don't want to flare ourselves up. This is all 30-day compliant. We don't restrict carbs. We just don't want to do the simple carbs, the refined sugars, the white flours. But this is a sweet potato. This is complex carbs, and this is good. Quinoa, brown rice, those are all good things that we can have. So that's the nice part is we're just finding healthier alternative ingredients, guys, is what we're doing. And it's so easy. Like even though we didn't do all the prep work, we just did some bare minimum stuff. It took us, what, less than 5 minutes to do the stuff we did before we got on video, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, almost done. So I had about 4, I had smaller sweet potatoes. I'm used to getting the big, huge ones from Sam's or Costco. These ones I think were just from like a regular, actually I think they were from the military food store, which is called the commissary. But these ones were smaller. So this is about 4 smaller sweet potatoes. Probably would only need 3 if you had larger ones. And I'm just cutting it up like that. All right, and this is a 4-cup measuring just so you guys can see, but doesn't need to be exact. So what we're gonna do you want me to spread it out or are we gonna do it in sections? So you can do it in sections if you want. The way we decided to do it is we don't need it all separated. We're gonna mix it. So that all the seasoning, I'm gonna cut that one a little smaller so it cooks a little easier. The rest of them look pretty good. And so then what do we have to do? We have to drizzle it with a little of our olive oil and we have to put a little salt and pepper on it. So here's our salt and pepper. We like the grinders. I use sea salt and fresh ground pepper. And you can get that at Sam's, Costco, or any grocery store. I happen to get those at Sam's or Costco. And he's drizzling the oil. And that just helps add to the crispness when cooking and give it a little more seasoning. And then some salt and pepper.
Lene likes a lot
I was
of
just
pepper.
gonna say, I like a lot of pepper and I do like seasoning.
Oh,
So that's the sea salt that I added. Damon's doing what?
I'm doing this pepper again.
Fresh ground pepper. I love pepper.
Not that much though. You can have more if you want.
Yeah, you can always add more after when you need it. So we're going to put it in for 15 minutes while we continue with the other ingredients. Because I never pay attention. I'm ADHD and get distracted. Okay, you want to do the chicken part next?
Yeah, I'll do the chicken. All right, chicken. It called for 4 breasts, but these are pretty thick. So we're just doing 2. And instead of doing slices, I'm gonna butterfly them basically and then just chop them up because I don't want them too thick.
You want them to cook through in the amount of time.
Yeah.
You can pound them down too if you wanted to. He's just, when he says butterfly, he's literally just cutting them in
Yeah,
half.
it's, you know, butterfly was here. Keep them open, like when you do chicken parm. But these are still thick, but since we're cubing them, I'm not gonna worry too much about it.
We use a different cutting board for raw meat, so this is a different cutting board that we keep separate from the food we're doing our veggies on. Now just cubing, we're cutting it up into chunks or cubes, so
Yeah,
more
about-
surface area.
About 1-inch pieces.
And that way they'll cook easier in the pan.
And they'll absorb more surface
seasoning.
area.
Yeah, more seasoning. And you want to use organic chicken because, again, we're trying to eliminate things that will be inflammatory. So we get this kind, we got it frozen. They're individually wrapped in a freezer bag, and it's the organic chicken at Costco. Usually it's the Kirkland brand or whatever brand's got the organic label on it. But you can get fresh chicken that's organic. You can get farm-raised chicken. You can get...
I got some backyard chickens.
We do have backyard. We have barnyard chicken. No, what are they called?
Or barred rocks.
Barred rock chickens. So we get our eggs from our barred rock chickens, which are...
They're not our meat chickens, they're our egg chickens.
They're our egg chickens, and they're delicious. It's so different. And even when we eat the organic chicken, or I eat the organic ground beef or the grass-fed steak, it truly tastes different to me. That was the pan. It truly tastes different to me than the chicken I grew up on or used to eat without realizing all the chemicals and just all the hormones and antibiotics and things they're putting in them. It's a little bit pricier, but if you go local and get your meat locally, there's ways to save money on it. Or for us, we have an extra freezer and we buy in bulk. And what's nice about the Costco brand, or even Sam's Club will have it sometimes, the organic chicken, they can be individually frozen, so we can make it serving sizes. So you want me to take this out of the way then?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna get rid of this just for sanitation purposes.
You're supposed to add 2 tablespoons, and this is how I measure a tablespoon. So that's it. And then you want to add salt and pepper because my hands are all nasty now. And you mix it up.
Okay, add some salt. And this is sea salt again that we're using.
You just
To
touch my
season
chicken
it.
hands too.
Did I?
Your pinky.
Oh, with my pinky?
I touch this with my chicken hands, so I'll make sure.
And then what we're gonna do is go ahead and get the garlic ready. And you wanna do on the garlic,
It's like 2, 3 cloves. Depends how much garlic.
right, 2 to
garlic
3
you want.
cloves minced garlic.
So I did not prep this yet, so we've got 1 bulb here. If you do the whole thing, I'll just get couple cloves. They're kind of small cloves, so I'll probably do 4 of them.
We've got 10 minutes left on the sweet potatoes that are in the oven, so they're still going.
I'll never guess who taught me that trick.
Taught you to get the Greg?
Yeah.
My brother, the Culinary Institute of America
I
chef.
was like, well, that's a lot easier than just trying to peel them.
Yeah. So what did you do? Show them. You press
Just
down.
smash it down, and
And
it comes
all
out of
comes out.
the husk. So I'm going to use 4 cloves instead of the 2 to 3 because these are pretty small.
It just depends on how much garlic taste you want.
Flatten them a little bit. Now, if you want to go the cheap and, well, not cheap, but the easy method is you can just buy the jar of pre-minced garlic. But some people want to be purists and just do it themselves.
I like doing everything I can possibly do that I know is going to be fresher and less stuff in it that's going to be inflammatory. I like to do. So for me, having the fresh garlic is nicer. Now, one thing I would give up easily is prepping onions. I hate prepping onions. My eyes tear and tear and tear.
And look at the onions raw.
Yeah, I like red onions raw, but which there's no onions in this recipe. I just had a squirrel moment. But
Well, onions and garlic are in the same family.
look at that. Learn something new every day. Onions and garlic are in the same family. See what they taught him in the military? Look at all these skills he got.
What about that? I think I learned that when I was figuring out that dogs couldn't eat certain food and they can't have garlic or onions because they're all part of the same
Okay.
type of whatever family they can't have.
All right. So he's just kind of making it really small.
Little
So it's
smaller.
not like a whole big mouthful of garlic. It's more of the seasoning versus just chewing on a chunk of it.
We're adding this to the chicken, right?
Yep.
Okay, it needs to be small.
All right.
Small enough.
I think so. Good enough for government work, and he works for the government, so there you go.
That's right.
So next what we're going to do is, you want to grab,
Hold on.
oh, you're going to mix that up. That's right. All right, I'm going to grab the broccoli. Oh, gotta
If we did this smarter, we would have prepped all this and did it all at once, so I don't have to keep washing my hands.
But we were in it to show you guys how to do it.
That's right.
All right. Broccoli. It says 4 cups of broccoli florets. So we're going to cut the stems off here. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut these up. Nothing magical. You know, you kind of, I think it would be nice to make it so it's bite-sized, so you can just grab off of the fork, and you don't have to cut it or anything. I think that's nice. But however you want to do it, that works for you. We just want to get 4 cups. And like I said, Damon had washed and dried the broccoli florets beforehand. So these were already prepped, washed, and dried. We just wanted to cut them for you guys, okay? We got the chicken over here seasoning. How many more minutes on the 6 minutes left on the sweet potatoes? Smells so good. What was cool is I actually had a bunch of fresh broccoli left that I needed to do something with. So it was really neat when I saw this recipe, because I don't want to waste it. Food's so expensive, especially nowadays, right guys? So I loved that this recipe was so simple and called for the broccoli. And I had a bunch of fresh broccoli. Get some of those stems off in there. All right. You got any other tips for us, Damon? You were on a roll.
Mm-hmm. Just watching you cut up the broccoli.
That's pretty good. let's see, how many, I've done, what, one?
This summer, I'm hoping to have our own working
Oh, come over
garden.
here so they can see you.
Our own working garden so we can get some of these vegetables. I tried the grow bags and they were just too hot having them close to the house, so this spring I'll be building a garden because I don't want them in the ground because our ground is awful with clay, and the crazy grass that we have here just takes over everything. So I'm going to have actual raised beds, true raised beds garden, and we'll be having our own vegetables.
Yeah, it's so much cheaper if you can have your own garden. We do the, what is it, the Arrow Garden, where we make our own, we get our own basil and stuff. But
yeah, we used to do salads with it, but you can do the Arrow Gardens are pretty cool, except after a while they just keep growing and growing and get bigger, and then it's just a base full of roots. And you can only have so much water, you're constantly having to add water, and which is okay, except there's no much room for the water after the roots get
and
crazy.
it's something that you keep inside on in your house. So we have it on our counter over there.
So we just switched it to the basil now for the pizzas that we do.
Right, so we have a pizza oven. You guys know, I think most of you know I'm from New York, and I love pizza. And when we make our own dough, it's not always gluten-free, but the dough we make, I don't have inflammation from it. It's not a trigger for me with the way we make it. So we can make fresh pizzas. We even made our turkey out there this year for Thanksgiving. We cooked it, and he brined it, and then we cooked it outside in our pizza oven. It was absolutely amazing. All right.
Do the apple pie in there too.
Oh, we did. That's right. We made a homemade apple pie in there too for dessert for Thanksgiving. So here's all your broccoli florets. I did 4 cups. Okay, so that's ready to go. How much time we got left on the?
4 minutes.
So 4 minutes on that. So yeah, the pizza oven is pretty incredible. That's one of my favorite things ever. The kids love making it. So we grow the basil in the house in our Arrow Garden, and we use fresh basil. It's hard to find basil, and it's so overpriced when I do have to buy it. And I use the dairy-free cheese when I make it, but we have organic pizza sauce we use, just real basic, and we throw seasoning in it. It's so good. We'll have to do that for you guys one night and show you how we do it. And yeah, we're hoping what was the raised garden? What was tell them, what was the garden house? The, what's it called? The cover. The greenhouse. What kind of greenhouse you got?
Oh, the greenhouse I'm mixing. It just could not survive the Oklahoma wind. So, and since a greenhouse, you really don't need a greenhouse unless you have long winters. Our winters here are pretty small, pretty short. And we have a long growing season, almost where you can definitely get multiple generations of our seasons of crops in. So I'll be hopefully by late February, I'll be building our garden. I'm gonna basically make it kind of like our pergola, except it'll be a lot less wood, because I want to be able to throw over some shade cloth to protect, because we get so much sun here. And it gets so hot, so I can do some shade cloth for like things that don't require so much sun, like the tomatoes. Even the potatoes, the sweet potatoes don't need all the sun we get so much sunlight. So this will help cut down, so it brings it down like 30% or cuts 30% or 40% of the light depending on what I need. And then I'll plant early spring produce and then late summer produce, and then we should get.
So what would be early spring produce?
I'll have to look. I have a list going in the back.
Okay, well that would be something we can show you guys if you're interested, is kind of what we end up doing with creating our garden, because this has been something we've been trying to. First we did a box garden, a raised bed box garden that you and Mia made during the pandemic.
Well, I made for Mia. It wasn't mine. I just made it for her, but
the roots, the weeds and everything took over. It was awful.
She did not take care of that.
So then we got rid of that. Then we got this kind of plastic metal.
I was doing garden bags, which were great, except where I put them because of our heat here. We had a really hot summer, and I was putting them closer to our brick house, which the brick absorbs all the heat, and so they were trying to get away from the heat of the bricks in the evening, and it just didn't work out. So I've got a good plan for this spring. We should be good to go.
So 2 strikes, actually 3 strikes. We went through the wood box, which we'll give that one to Mia and blame her.
Oh, her fault.
The second one was the garden bags, grow bags. They didn't work. And then we tried a greenhouse metal plastic.
I will say, if you guys want to use grow bags, they are excellent. I think they're a really cool thing to have with grow bags, just from where I placed them wasn't great.
And so now we'll try another
And the chickens got
method.
into some of the sweet potatoes. They were loving the sweet potatoes.
So the Barred Rock chickens, we just got those when?
I got them in the spring,
Okay.
May.
So now we're going to take out the sweet potatoes. You got the mitts. And we're going to start adding the other things to it. We'll probably need to give it a spatula and push them aside a little bit.
Yeah.
Huh?
All right. So we just mix all this in the broccoli, and then we season or drizzle the broccoli with a little bit more oil. Not a lot. Just not putting it in one area, just mixing it all up, moving it around, so it's all over the place.
And then the seasoning will get on everything too.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing you want to do is make sure you cook the chicken all the way through. But that's why we cut it up into smaller pieces too.
Yeah, I'd definitely rather have well done chicken than raw chicken.
And there's the broccoli. I'm gonna stand to the side a little bit so you can see. And then I'll show you. You lift up your side and then that way you can see. And see what it looks like.
Voila.
There we
So
go.
that dumps on the floor.
And then we have to put some more olive oil and salt on top of the broccoli.
Yeah, it's olive oil. You can go a little extreme if you want. I don't measure anything.
And then a little salt and pepper. A little pepper. Okay. And then we're going to put that in for another 15 minutes, guys. Set the timer. And we will be right back. When we get it out of the oven, we'll give you guys a look at what it looks like. I'm going to clean up this mess while it's cooked. So we're just finishing up that last 15 minutes. So the first 15 minutes we did the sweet potatoes, then we added the chicken and the broccoli to the sweet potatoes and put it back in at 425 for another 15 minutes. And we just want to make sure the chicken's cooked thoroughly all the way through, so it may take longer. We're just going to check that out now. Looks like it needs a little more.
Yeah.
But what we could do is flip it with a spatula so we kind of move it around a little bit. What do you think? We can kind of show them. It looks awesome, but we need to.
Smells great. Broccoli's really has a
Looks
little.
awesome. We just need to make sure the chicken's cooked all the way through, and it looks like it needs a little bit more time. That's how men do the kitchen, guys. So we're just moving it around to make sure the chicken's gonna cook all the way through. And he's breaking up the pieces now that they're cooked a little bit through. I mean, they're cooked good, but not good enough to eat. So he's just making them a little bit smaller, breaking them up, moving things around, getting the chicken closer to the pan because they were kind of layered on top of the potatoes. How do the potatoes feel? Are they getting softer?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So we're gonna.
Other than the chicken, it's ready to go. So.
Yeah, probably another 10 minutes. We'll put it in, 5 to 10, and then we'll hop back on and see. That was an additional 5 minutes of cooking time. Let's see where we're at.
We look good.
And it looks amazing, guys. We're going to show you here. Let me turn the oven off. There we go. So easy to make, guys. Something the whole family can do. It's probably pretty hot. You think we'll be able to take a bite of it? All right, guys. Here's the truth. We're gonna try it. Good. Guys, it's delicious. It has really nice seasoning. You can always add a little more seasoning if you want.
I'll add more seasoning to it.
You can put some Italian seasoning on it. You can do some more salt and pepper. Really good. Hope you guys enjoy it. Post your pics when you make this and tell us what you thought.